All right. So hello, everybody. Welcome to the Legend Real Estate Trust webinar tonight. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to connect with me. We are going to get into a great presentation this evening. I'll run through the agenda and then there'll be an open question format at the end as well. So I just want to introduce myself. My name is Amanda Bauk. I'm the COO of Legend Real Estate Trust and a co-owner of the trust as well. Now, Legend Real Estate Trust is an organization where we focus on acquiring multifamily properties all across Canada in what we believe are the very best markets. Turnkey style properties, cash flowing properties is what we're really focused on within our business model. So I'm going to share my screen and just jump right into it. All right, here we go. So there is my hello and welcome for a second time around. Okay. So in today's webinar, we are going to talk about why some people get into real estate. I'm going to share with all of you why I've gotten into real estate. We're going to do a quick commitment for today as well. Of course, I'll run through an overview for Legend Real Estate Trust. Then we'll talk about our flagship property, the first property that will be going into the fund, how you can leverage your RSPs and keep all of your tax shelter benefits. Then we'll go through some next steps if you're interested to get involved. And then, as I mentioned, an open Q&A format as well. So where is everybody from tonight? Go ahead and pop it into the chat and let me know where you guys are signing in from. I'm nearby. Guelph, Ontario is home office for us. But how about you guys? Where are you joining from tonight? Oh, we've got another Guelphite. I love that. Guelph, Ontario. And then also, guys, when you're popping into the chat, just make sure that you select the drop down so that everybody can see your message. And Hassan is joining from Vancouver, BC. Amazing. Hello from all the way across the country. Manon, we are up in Ottawa. Amazing. Hello, welcome. Glad to see. Oh, Mayan, hello from Ottawa as well. Fantastic. We've got an Ottawa crowd in the house. I love it. Amazing. So go ahead, guys. Don't be shy. A couple housekeeping items before we really get rolling here. Obviously, the chat, we've got that open. Make sure that you do select for everybody to see your message. If you want everybody to see your message, of course. We do have the Q&A feature as well. But just go ahead, pop your questions into the chat as we go ahead and run through the presentation. Hey, Anthony, great to see you joining from Vaughan tonight as well. I will pause throughout the presentation and take questions as we go. We don't just have to save them all till the end, okay? And I will pop in and out of the chat too. So Alicia, before we jump into the full presentation, how about you go ahead and drop our one pager, our summary that outlines Legend's offering into the chat. So we've created just a simplified version of our presentation in a one-page PDF document. So Alicia will drop it in the chat here. It's in PDF format. So I hope you guys are able to actually download that. It looks like if you click on the three dots, then maybe you should be able to download in that format. And hey there, Michael, welcome from Vancouver. Okay, so I wanted to share with you guys before we really jump in, how I actually got started in real estate. So way back in 2006, my husband and business partner and I, Marty, we purchased our very first property in Guelph, Ontario. So this is a real picture of 119 Waverly Drive was the first property that we ever bought. It was a semi-bungalow. And at the time of purchase in 2006, we bought it for $173,000. Now, this was a 3-bedroom up, and it had an unfinished basement. So we actually created no, this one wasn't illegal. This was an in-law suite. We created a 2-bedroom basement apartment at the property. And then we lived in that basement apartment and we rented out all 3 bedrooms upstairs. And we were able to rent each of the rooms for $450 a room, which at that time was pretty incredible. So we were cash flowing right from the start and we were able to live rent-free in our early 20s. And that's how we really got started into real estate. And then after we realized kind of the power here of real estate. We bought our second property and then we refinanced the property after we added some value, like another basement apartment, refinanced, pulled some money out, and then bought another property. And kind of the rest is history from there. We went on to create many of these single family homes to 2-unit conversions over the years. This was a lot of the I guess you could say, the bread and butter of our business on how we actually got started. And Marty's a carpenter by trade, so he used to be the one who would actually do the on-site renovations for many, many years. So that's just how we got started into real estate. After many years of doing this specific strategy is then when we got into some multifamily properties as well. We bought a 6-plex, and then we bought a 12-plex, and then we bought a 23-unit after that. So really focusing on slow, steady, and appropriate growth over the last nearly 20 years is how long we've been at it. Now, a lot of people, they talk about the reasons why they invest into real estate. And I wanted to share with all of you guys the reasons why I invest into real estate. So the number one reason why I invest is, well, I think for everybody, it's money, right? But what does money actually get you in terms of any kind of reward here? And it's the time and it's the freedom to do the things that you really want to do in life. So for us, we have a 3-year-old son, little Montgomery, and we like to take him fishing and we like to go hiking. And Marty and I are really big into concerts as well. So just last year, we got front row tickets to the Tool concert last November. It was incredible, the best show of our life. We like to go patio hopping, and then of course taking some downtime as well. I like to do some yoga and a bit of reading in my quiet time. But what's really exciting is real estate has allowed us to purchase our dream property. And that's in the bottom left corner. There's a picture of me, Marty, and Monty in a forest, and this is a place where we're actually going to build our forever home. And we're able to do that because of the choices that we made earlier in life and because of the opportunities that real estate has been able to provide and to create for us. So we've definitely put in the blood, sweat, and tears over many years, but it's definitely proven to be worth it. So that's just a bit about me and our background and the reasons why we invest into real estate. Now, how about you guys? Share with me, what is your why? What are the reasons why you want to invest into real estate? And for some of us, it might be traveling or maybe some multi-generational wealth, but go ahead and pop it into the chat. I'm curious to see about what your guys' whys are. And don't be shy on me here. I know that there's quite a few in the room now. So go ahead and let me know what really keeps you going when the going gets tough. I know there's times where, it seems like it rains, it pours with a real estate business, and all of a sudden you've got, a couple vacancies at properties, and maybe you've got maintenance coming down, and you often need that place, that center to come back to and say, this is the reason why I want to invest in real estate. And just to, really remind you of, the good stuff, right? What life's all about. So we've got Alicia in the chat. I want to purchase my dreamland and build a family compound and generational wealth. I love that. I mean, that's really deep, and it's really important to most people, that generational wealth and being really close to family. So that sounds, very relatable to me. I love that as a why. And Manon has good retirement and also for our kids. So again, that multi-generational wealth is super important for most of us, especially if we do have children. So it's not just enjoying the fruits of your labor in the moment, is what can we pass down to different generations, which is super important. And Anthony builds a legacy for my family. Completely agree. And I think your kids are still pretty young, right, Anthony? So, starting now so that they've got, choices when they're going to college or university. For many of us, that's very important, so that they've got opportunities, that money isn't going to hold them back from doing what they really want to do in the future. And Hassan, financial freedom. Yeah, I completely agree that financial freedom, it feels really good to say, hey, if money is taken care of, then what are the other things that I can spend my time doing? And that's very important to most of us. So thank you for sharing, guys. And yes, I thought, Sir Anthony, your kids were still young. My little guy's 3.5, but getting ahead on planning, there's no time. I mean, you can't be doing it too soon, right? And investing goals. So I want you guys to think here, if you're at a computer, if you're at a desk and you've got a pen and paper or a notepad, or maybe a notepad on your phone, I want you guys to just jot down for yourself, but also share in the chat, what are some of your investing goals? What are you looking to get out of your real estate investing? Some of the features for the investing opportunities that you might be considering. Are you looking for active investments? Or are you looking to be a passive investor? So passive investor meaning hands off, not a decision maker. You want to just passively invest your money into an investment and kind of set it and forget it. Are you interested in a short-term investment or a long-term investment? So what's got you interested? How about cash flow? Is cash flow important to you, or is it not because your income is already high and you're saying, I don't want cash flow right now because I don't want to pay the taxes on it just yet? And how about RSP eligibility? So many of us understand that you can use cash to invest into real estate, but there's often some lucrative opportunities that allow you to use registered funds to invest into real estate. And diversification. So this is a term that everybody should be familiar with, that you don't want to put all your eggs into one basket. So some diversity within your portfolio should be important to you as you guys are making some real estate investing choices. And how about investing directly into a hard asset, something that you can say, that's my bricks and mortar. I own a piece of that building. I can drive past it, like an actual hard asset to invest into. And of course, considering your risk tolerance, are you looking for something that you feel is super secure, or are you willing to, push the limits a little bit for the potential higher reward? And flexibility. So flexibility can be really big for a lot of investors, depending on what stage of life that you're in. So if you're just getting started out, maybe you're a bit younger, you've got a younger family, then your goals for investing might be a little bit different than somebody who is approaching retirement age. So, flexibility of an investment can also be a very important consideration. I'm going to pop over to the chat and see what you guys are saying in terms of what is important to you guys for your investing goals. So I see Manon says diversification and a passive investment. Great. So diversity, of course, helps to mitigate risk. I mean, there's nothing that's guaranteed. All investing has some levels of risk associated with it, but that diversity within your portfolio can help to mitigate those risks. And passive investing, again, it can be very attractive if you work a day job or you have a family. To commit additional time to real estate investing can be a big ask for most of us. So a passive investing option can be a great opportunity for most. And Anthony, passive, no more tenants, please. Oh gosh, I think there's a story there with that, isn't there? So yeah, I can understand that. So if you've put in your time already, or maybe you're starting as a passive investor, which is an option too. But for a lot of us, we've put in some time and we can say, hey, I've done the tenant thing for a long time. I've done, a lot of active strategies. I'm tired of swinging a hammer. I'm tired of working with my tenants directly. Can you please take this off my hands? And yes, I mean, I'm not done dealing with tenants. I've got a lot of work left in me, and I'll do it for you. And Alicia, diversification is so important. She wants to be active in some deals and passive in others, which is a great opportunity to have a blended portfolio. So I think that's great to even say passive investing, kind of set it for the future, but active and really push those ROIs while you're a bit younger and getting started into your career. And Hassan is looking for active income. So that's likely due to tax purposes. So sounds good. It sounds like you guys, you know what you want out of your investing goals, which is fantastic. So today's commitment, what I am, asking for you guys and asking you guys to commit to yourself is that if I'm able to demonstrate to you a great real estate investing opportunity that fits in with your why, gets you closer to your why, spending more time with your family, getting that multi-generational wealth, those things are really important for you, and also is in line with your investing goals as well, then I'm asking you to commit to yourself and to commit to me to make a decision. Is it a yes or a no? So the commitment is no maybes, okay? So a lot of people get stuck in this analysis paralysis, or they say, oh, maybe when I have, I'll think about it, I'll take it away. I think that is a difficult place for an investor to be at, is to not be making a decision. You're missing out on that growth, you're missing out on opportunity, and I wouldn't want you to be stuck forever. So my ask for you guys tonight is to make a decision for yourself, a yes or a no, and no maybes is the rule for tonight. Now let's jump into Legend's offering. So at Legend Real Estate Trust, this is overall how we've structured our investment. And we have, really built this fund with passive investors in mind. So our offering for investors to come into this fund, we're selling Class A share units, and they're at $10 per unit is what they're available. And we're targeting 15 to 20% annual return. Our preferred returns is 8% annual ROI. So this is your cash flow that gets paid out quarterly. And we've got our minimum investment of $10,000 to get started. So as little as $10,000, you can come into the fund. We do have a DRIP program available. So that's the dividend reinvestment program. So if you don't wish to receive your cash flow, you have the option to reinvest it into the fund. And the way this works is that you would actually be buying additional units at a 2% discount. So some people choose to not receive their cash flow because of tax purposes. So you can put it back into the fund and really just start growing your investment even faster. So you get a great compounding effect because now your investment is larger and you're making your returns on an even larger investment. So we do have that available. Investment vehicles, we are RSP eligible. So you can use your RSP, your TFSA, your LIRA, and cash, of course, is always accepted. Now, there is investor suitability. So a fund like ours is available to eligible and accredited investors. So our EMD, our exempt market dealer, is our compliance team, and they will go through the KYC forms and investor suitability to determine if you're eligible or accredited status. Now, Legends Edge, what we offer to, again, our passive investors is, three really strategic pieces that we feel set us apart. One is to skip a mortgage hassle. So investing into real estate from a passive position, you can skip that mortgage hassle. So coming into Legend, you don't need to qualify for a mortgage, and there's no credit check. So there's literally no hoops that you need to jump through. It's very simple investing. And we're also completely passive, hands-free investing for all of our investors. So I will take on the headaches. I will take on all the work for you. So me, as in Legend and our Legend team, we're happy to do it and offer completely passive investing for all of our partners who come in. And as I mentioned, we are RSP eligible. So what's an extra great about this feature is that you can invest by self-directing your registered account into Legend and keep all of your tax shelter benefits. So you don't need to cash out your RSP in order to invest. What you do is you actually self-direct your account into an Olympia Trust account, and then they would invest it into Legend on your behalf. So it's a very simple process, and Legend has it outlined for you in the onboarding. So it's a great opportunity, especially if your RSPs or your registered accounts are performing at less than 15 to 20%, then this could be a good opportunity for you to, self-direct those registered funds and get them performing potentially at higher returns. Now, understanding investor profits, I want to walk through a case study here just to show you the math behind the targeted returns. So if an investor comes in With a $10,000 investment, that means you're actually buying 1,000 units at $10 per unit. Now, if we move to the second column and talk about the cash flow here, Legend is targeting that 8% cash flow, which would translate into $800 per year on that $10,000 investment. This would be distributed quarterly, meaning you would get a $200 payment every 3 months. We move forward into the equity growth, and our equity target is between 7 to 12% annually. So if we're able to achieve that 12% annual equity growth, then that means that the units that you bought for $10 each are now worth $11.20 each. So this means that your portfolio has now grown from a $10,000 investment is now worth $11,000 and $11,200. Then we fast forward to our 1-year profits. We're going to add those together. So your $800 in cash flow gets added to your $1,200 in equity growth, equals a profit of $2,000 per year. Now, if you commit for 5 years, then that means $2,000 times 5 years equals $10,000. And if we hit that 20% return, you've effectively doubled your money within a 5-year period. Now, mitigating risk. So risk is something that, we talk a lot about in our investing community here. So all real estate investing, all investing altogether beyond real estate comes with risk. You cannot completely eliminate risk. So I just want to touch on here how we at Legend mitigate and, try and reduce the risk as much as possible. Within our business model and our investing strategy, there's no cash for keys. We're not doing cash for keys within Legend, and we're really starting at market rents with the buildings that we're looking to acquire. I've done the cash for keys. We've done this for years, and it is, it's a challenging strategy, and it seems to be getting more difficult as time goes on. But just to be clear, with the Legend acquisitions, no cash for keys is required for the success of our business model. What we're focused on is providing quality housing for working class tenants. So what this means is we're after a step above building, and I'll get into our flagship property shortly in the next slide, but we're not looking for, those value add buildings that are really run down and, tenants who have been there for many years and haven't really taken great care of the property. That's not what we're after. We're really focused on that quality housing for those working class tenants is the profile that we're looking to cater to. And with that is no large scale renovations either. So again, going for that turnkey, newer buildings is what we're really focused on here. And the reason why we're focused in this space is there's many reasons, but a couple are for the vacancy. If you buy a turnkey property, you're buying a tenanted building already. So you don't have that kind of lag in getting the performance of your building. And if we buy newer buildings, 2018 or newer, then it's not subject to rent control in the province of Ontario. So newer buildings also come with less maintenance as well. So that's what we're really focused on. Another piece that's very important to us within our core values is completing one project at a time. So Legend's goals for growth is to do 1, maybe 2 acquisitions per year. What we are not focused on is multiple projects all at once that are kind of cannibalizing or slowing down each of them. Our commitment to our Legend investors is to do 1 project at a time, bring it to completion before we move forward with the next one. And even with this current project that we're working on right now, we do have the next one lined up. But again, we are going to complete the first one before we actually get the next one under contract. We also are focused on existing buildings, so no development delays. We know that sometimes this can be a challenging strategy if you're waiting for, the cities and municipalities, and there's a lot of red tape and so on. We're not focused in developments at this time. And we are primarily focused on equity investors coming into our fund as well. So when we're talking about, again, the mitigation of risk, we're looking for equity partners, not necessarily those building the majority of our business on high interest loans, which could be a risky strategy. So we've been in the game long enough to know, nearly 20 years now, we've seen changes in market cycles. We've seen rule changes when it comes to financing. We've been in those buyers markets. We've been in the sellers markets. We've been through several refinances over the last nearly 20 years. And we've almost always worked with passive investors within our business model. So we've seen many investors through to renewals of projects and properties. We've sold properties and disposed of assets and divided profits as well. We've exited investors early because of their life circumstances and they needed to go, and we've replaced them with new investors who have come in as well. And on many of our deals, we have had we've worked with hundreds of investors over the years. And the reason why this is so important, and I'm sharing that with you, is because as we're growing a fund and we're working with hundreds of investors, that this isn't something that's new to us, that we've got a great deal of experience with this over many, many years. And in terms of, communications and reportings and just overall, taking care of the investors within our projects is something that we believe we do a really good job at. So before I jump into the flagship property, I'm just going to pop over into the chat and just see if anybody's got any specific questions. So guys, go ahead. If you've got any burning questions, don't be shy, pop it into the chat or use the Q&A feature if you prefer. Nope, no questions? All right, well, I guess I must be doing a good job giving information here. So let's have a look here at our flagship property. So 144 Lucan Avenue, Waterloo. So this is our first purchase, our first acquisition that will go into Legend Real Estate Trust. So we purchased it at $21,500,000, and this is a 60-unit apartment building. It's already been renovated. It's turnkey condition. This is an absolutely gorgeous property, and it is that step up of a building. So this building, it has a gym facility, and it has facial recognition for a security system to even enter into the building. All of the units have balconies. All of the units have dishwashers. So it's a very nice building, and it is that step above. Also, 50% of the building was an addition, which means it's exempt from the rental increase guidelines in Ontario. So we do have that strategic advantage here. And we're expecting to close the property close to the end of 2024. And if we have a look here into the location of 144 Lucan Avenue, this is an absolute prime location for an investment property like this. We are 4 minutes to the Grand River Hospital, 6 minutes to Wilfrid Laurier University, 9 minutes to the University of Waterloo, 5 minutes to Kitchener Union Station, 7 minutes to the University Avenue Station, and 4 minutes to Google Waterloo. So in terms of tenant profile here, we can really cater to healthcare workers who might be working at the hospital. We could be catering to people who work at the universities. We can also have tenants that are students who want to come live in our building as well. And of course, Google employs, a few people as well. So, Waterloo is very much a tech hub that, they would be interested in a higher tech building that we've got here available. And of course, close to the transit systems is always an incredible value add for tenants, and they're looking for it. This is an area that is currently gentrifying right now. So we're getting in on it on the upswing as this entire area is really starting to grow and to redevelop. So from an overall value perspective, this is an incredible location for an investment property. Now, in terms of things that might hold investors back from making a decision or committing into an investment. I want to hear from you guys. What are some of, the red flags or the alarm bells or something that prevents you from actually making a decision and committing to an investment? So go ahead and put, what holds you back into the chat, or maybe, concerns or objections that you might be a little bit worried about. Money. Yep. So money. So this was a question just sent to me directly here. Do you care to elaborate on money? Do you mean an upfront commitment or the money that it will actually produce in terms of like ROI? Finding the upfront money. Yeah, it can definitely be challenging, especially if you're trying to say buy a property on your own, right? You need to come up with a down payment. You need to come up with closing costs. You've got legal fees, land transfer, etc. So finding the money upfront to get into an investment property can definitely be a barrier, something that holds people back. So again, at Legend, we wanted to open up our fund to more investors. So this is why we've got that $10,000 minimum commitment, so that investors who are maybe even starting out can own a small piece of a large scale apartment building. So getting started for 10,000, we believe is a pretty good barrier to actually overcome and come into a real estate investment. And then I've got another comment here. So not knowledgeable enough of the process of the actual investment. So yeah, that's definitely a concern for some people, that if you feel as if you don't quite know enough about the investment, then it could hold you back. So I get that. Now, again, at Legend, we have it taken care of for you. So if you're coming into a passive investment, I think it would be super important to, of course, perform due diligence and understand the type of investment that you're getting into. And of course, trust the people who are the trustees and the ones who are handling your investment. But if you don't have the time or the commitment to put into your education and to learn all about real estate investing, then something like Legend, it could be a good fit for you, because you don't have to get into all the minutia of learning about, step one, step two of going through the property, the acquisition, the management, the distributions, and so on. We've got that taken care of for you. And then we've got another comment here: fear of losing the money that I've invested. Yeah, this is a real thing that sometimes unfortunately happens when, the wrong people are in control of investor funds. So I've been, as I mentioned, investing into real estate for nearly 20 years now with Marty and I. And we've never lost $1 of investor capital for our entire career. So we've always over-delivered on what our promises have been. And for the fixed rate of return investments, they've always been paid in full and on time. So it's important that you look through, the track record and the history of the people who you're intending to do business with, because this fear of losing money, it is a real risk, and it is a real fear. And if you were to commit or consider coming into Legend, then the EMD would go through the risk tolerance and the suitability and just make sure that this is an investment that would fit very well into your portfolio. We've got another objection here. So trust of who we invest, fluctuation in the current market and the future market. Yeah, it definitely is something that you absolutely need to look into. So understanding who you're investing with is critical. This is somebody who would be in control of your funds. So my guarantee for all of our investors is I can't necessarily control the market. I can't control the tenants specifically. There could be some unknowns. But the one thing I can guarantee to all of our investors is that I would treat your money and your investment as if it was my very own, and hold it in the highest respect, and make sure that we're always making the best business decisions on behalf of our investors of Legend. So with the current market conditions, we've got a really interesting advantage here with our Lucan property. So we negotiated the purchase price last December. So December 2023 is when we negotiated the price, when, you know, the market was pretty stale at that time and we had a bit of an advantage and we got it for an incredible price. We bought it at 5.3 cap, which is great for the Waterloo market. Now, if we don't close until the end of, 2024, which is what we're on track for right now, there's been some market growth even during this closing period. And also mortgage interest rates have been coming down, down, down all this while as well. And the rents have been going up at our building. So even before we close on this property, we know that we've got some value that's already built in the day that we take possession and the day that we get the keys. So this is very unique to this particular property, especially within these market conditions. And working with professionals who understand the cycles of the real estate market is absolutely critical. So even with this property, we've secured a lender financing. We've got our letter of intent with Peak Hill Capital. We've got what we believe to be a great rate on our mortgage here. And we're really happy with the financing on the property, and it will get better in the coming months, we expect, with the upcoming rate announcements as well. So that's just a little bit more about the markets and investing. And then another comment here, I see all the talk on leveraging assets or life insurance, but I don't know how to get that to work. So, leveraging assets is something that a lot of people do. For example, if you buy a property and then you're going to, add some value and then refinance and then buy another property. That's usually what people are talking about, to leverage your assets. So it is a great way that people are getting started. In terms of life insurance, I know nothing about life insurance and I won't pretend to speak to that either. So I'm not sure either, Scott, to be able to talk about life insurance in particular. So just kind of going back to, at the beginning of the webinar tonight and just saying your commitment to yourself and your commitment to me is to make a decision for yourself. Is Legend something that you're interested to learn more about? Is it a yes or is it a no? So again, I don't want you guys to get caught into the maybes. So if you are interested to invest and to become, to come into Legend, then let's go through what it would look like if you are interested. So again, you can use your registered accounts to invest into our fund. So we call this supercharging your registered funds. So you can self-direct any Canadian registered account and keep all of your tax shelter benefits. So this is RRSP, RESP, TFSA. You can use your LIRA, etc. So any Canadian registered account is eligible. And the way this works is you've got your registered account, and then we work with a custodial account, Olympia Trust, which many of you are probably familiar with. You would self-direct to Olympia, and then Olympia would invest into Legend on your behalf. And this is how you can use your RSPs and keep all of your tax shelter benefits. It's a very easy process, just a bit of paperwork, and we have it integrated into our onboarding process. You don't need to do any of this on your own. So in terms of next steps, we partnered with Equivesto. This is our EMD. So the first step would be to go ahead and book a call with us. So Alicia, please go ahead and drop our calendar link into the chat here. So I encourage you guys, if you're interested, even if you want to just like chat and learn more about Legend and say, hey, I'm interested. Let's talk. We can chat for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever is suited to your calendar. So book a call with us. If it is something that you want to move forward with, then I would introduce you to Equivesto, our EMD. They will confirm your suitability and let you know your maximum investment amount. And then after that, you just complete your transaction online. So everything is very seamless. It's very much just step 1, step 2, and so on. And we definitely want to keep in touch with us here. So again, book that call with me one-on-one as soon as possible. I've opened up a lot of time slots in my calendar for next week so that I can connect with as many of you as I can. And if you aren't already a member of our free Facebook group, the Legend Inner Circle, then I encourage you to join the Legend Inner Circle as well. It's a great place for like-minded real estate investors just to get together, to keep up with what's going on in the real estate community. You guys have direct access to myself and to Marty as well. And if you want to learn more about our organization and Legend, of course, you can go to our website and you can reach out to us by email as well. So Alicia, thanks for dropping that chat there, the link to our Facebook group in the chat. Go ahead and drop our socials here as well. So, if you guys are into social media and you want to keep in touch that way as well, we are everywhere. So you can definitely stay in touch with us in any way that you want to. So it looks like, oh, I almost missed a question here. So Manon, how much money are you looking to get all together? So our total fundraise goal right now is $5 million is what we're looking for in order to close that Lucan property. So we're just over 40% to goal right now, and you can follow that on the Equivesto platform. So 5 million is our total raise that we're looking to. And then I see Audrey. Hey, Audrey, came late to the webinar. Yep, so you will definitely be able to watch the recording and then you can make a decision. So yeah, we will definitely send it out. Now up on the screen here is my disclaimer. So it's important that you guys, recognize and understand that all investments come with risk, and this investment comes with risk as well. So there's my disclaimer up on the screen. And then, of course, we want you to join Legend and build effortless wealth with us today.